Communication Air.
Welcome to episode 58 of the Communication Air podcast, the community patch notes episode of video game adaptations. Before we get into it, we have a special guest, our first ever guest. And it's almost been a year. I think you looked at it was June 19th
We're a
last year.
couple weeks short.
But yeah, it's almost been a year. Our very first guest, NightCrawlr, welcome. How are you?
Hey, how's it going? Crawl coming at you, back again.
We missed you, man.
It's like I haven't talked to you in like 4
Less than a
week. Cheesy, how are you?
I'm doing well. I don't know. My seasonal allergies have been so bad this year. Like, I have one ear that will not pop. And so I've been dealing with that for probably
play Mario Kart
2 weeks. Yeah, man. Because, if you can't hear, then you can't drive. Is that what they say?
Can't react.
Yeah. Yeah. No. So for context, Johnny played Uncle Jeeb from the Drip and Jeeb podcast in Mario Kart on Friday.
It was actually both of them. It was Drip and Jeeb.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh,
it was
dang.
supposed to be a challenge to us.
Left you hanging.
chickened out.
Yeah. No, I just have plans. I know that you don't know what that is, but Friday night
You're calling
plans.
out Uncle Jeeb right now. You're calling out Drip and Jeeb right now, saying that you have plans on Friday nights.
Yeah.
Calling them losers for not having plans.
I mean, if the shoe fits.
Wow, that's rude. But I streamed Mario Kart on Friday, playing some Mario Kart against Drip and Jeeb, and that was super fun. Shout out to Joey Pitts and Agent 8. We as a community took out Drip and Jeeb podcast. And
it sounded like you were going to say they carried.
They're gonna make excuses that they had too many adult beverages, or they were just they weren't at the top of their game. They're saying that they're better than us, which is just a complete and utter lie, and we clearly proved it last week.
Right. Although we are big fans of them, so go give them a listen.
Yeah, actually, we do have a sponsor this week.
We have a sponsor?
Yeah, we're sponsored by the Drip and Jeeb podcast.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So everybody go check out the Drip and Jeeb podcast. They are great guys over there, even though they're bad at Mario Kart.
I like that. That would be their official slogan. They're great over there, even though they're bad at Mario Kart.
We're pretty good. We're okay, even though we're bad at Mario Kart. That's it.
Crawler, how have you been?
Good. Just playing Stitch still every day.
Wow,
And,
still, huh?
Still, yeah. I'm at like 121 of the 141 puzzles I have. So we'll work on that adaptation later, right?
Yeah. We'll get a Stitch.
I built some Lego this week. And yeah, just having I didn't go to Lego store and spend. Well, Johnny made his money back.
There was a lot of people.
Bought two Baradors, and
there were a lot of people there. So I'm thinking when the Zelda set comes out, I think there's going to be a lot of people for the Zelda set, because it is the first Zelda set. There's no other Zelda sets. So if you want it and you want to get it day one, I would say go to the Lego store pretty early. We got there an hour and a half early, I would say, like before the store opened. And
is there a date on that one yet? Is it set for August?
September 1st. It's September 1st.
Oh, September 1st. Okay.
We got there an hour and a half early, and there were like 20 people in front of us. And I was like, "Oh my god, there's never that many people." It felt like the old days.
May and June are big months for Lego.
It was also a Saturday, so it probably helped that it was on the weekend, which I think September 1st is a Sunday. So just keep that in mind. But
Crawler,
it felt like the old days of waiting at midnight for video games.
Yeah, I do miss those days. I'm not gonna lie, and still,
actually, you know what? I don't. No,
really?
I don't miss those days at all.
I liked it when they started. Well, you're on the East Coast, so it doesn't really matter. As time progressed, they got smarter about it and started letting us get games at 10 o'clock our local time here.
Yeah.
And that was nice to turn around and be home and kind of have it all set up and get
Still
some time
play.
in. And yeah,
When everybody else is
Yeah, but
playing.
I just download it, preload it before midnight, and I still can play at midnight. It's fantastic. Yeah, I don't want to leave the house at midnight. Oh, that sounds awful.
Crawler, I do want to get your take real quick because you are a big Lego collector, and we haven't really talked about it much. What are your thoughts on the Zelda Lego set, the pricing, the way it looks? How do you feel?
Yeah, the pricing is it's steep for what it is. I mean, but it's also, as I was putting stickers on my $100 R2D2 set this weekend, I was like, I know why. I think Nintendo has it maybe in their contract with Lego that they aren't doing stickers, they aren't doing, it's all molded pieces. It like all the Animal Crossing stuff is molded heads and printed pieces, and same with the POW blocks and stuff on the Bowser set. And the question block had very small kind of pieces. There was like a some nods to the stained glass window on Peach's Castle and stuff like that, but those were micro scale. I think the Minecraft set coming up has all printed pieces. I don't think it has stickers. So like, if we can get to a world where we don't have stickers and they're not miscolored compared to the tile that you're putting it on, it's a nice quality of life thing. But with that comes, I guess, a cost that Lego is passing on to us, even though I don't know what the cost. Obviously, it's cheaper than printing a sticker sheet and having us screw it up ourselves. But having those pieces, it's a new mold with the Hylian shield and the Master Sword and all that kind of stuff. That's nice. I will probably not pull a Johnny. I will probably only get one set. I will probably build it. I will probably build it in Breath of the Wild configuration. If depending on, like, I have the bonsai tree and I just have like the green leaves just sitting around. So like, depending on how much of the extra part of the set is available and non-print, in if you have all the expensive printed pieces and that you maybe can make it work, maybe try to part out some pieces and make some of that set in some fashion to have it both, because having to buy it twice, you don't need the figures twice. Johnny will probably sell them.
Yeah,
but
I mean, that's how I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna try to sell the figures. I'll probably sell the pieces that are for, like, I'm assuming you could sell like Navi.
Yeah, they have Navi up in the roof, like the very top of the Breath of the Wild configuration for some reason. I don't know why, but probably
Yeah,
just because they wanted to put her in
pay
there.
full price for. Or I'm not gonna end up paying full price for both sets.
So I bought the Atari set and I still haven't built it yet. I bought the Atari set on launch day, and like, that has me feeling like maybe I know I shouldn't have. There's a lot of Lego sets that you don't need to buy on launch day. I don't think many of the Nintendo sets have gone on sale, and unless it's been at like Target or Best Buy or Amazon,
like the
maybe.
Mario Day sale.
Yeah, did you get double points?
Yeah, I forget what it was.
So
you got something.
Yeah, so I mean, maybe, but like that is it's a pretty cool set that I want to pick up.
Yeah, I mean, it's a dream come true for something that, like, we never thought would happen, and now Nintendo is just so involved with Lego. It's almost like, well, what's next? You know, like, this is exciting. It's an exciting time to just be a Nintendo fan.
And I had a eureka moment last week on Nintendo Powercast as well. Like, I have the DeLorean behind me; it's kind of covered, but they already have zero grav figured out for the tires with the DeLorean from Back to the Future. So we were talking about the Mario Kart set, and I was like, I'm pretty sure it's just going to be a big version of the kart, and it's going to be able to go zero grav and back to road, and it should be pretty cool. I'm hoping that's what it kind of is.
That's really cool. I just hope, like, maybe one day there's a Splatoon set. I don't know how you do that, but that would be pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, Animal Crossing, Zelda, Mario. What's next? Metroid.
Well, and
If they-
well, not Nintendo, but Minecraft's coming out. More stuff. The first adult set is coming out pretty soon. It's going to be a crafting table with biomes kind of inside in microscale inside.
Well, speaking of Minecraft, we should probably get to the topic at hand.
Yeah,
But before
we're
we
not talking
do,
about Lego
Johnny,
adaptations. We're talking about video game adaptations. All right.
yeah,
But
you want to
before
do
we
some
get into
server
it-
maintenance?
Yeah, before we get into it, make sure you leave reviews on Apple and Spotify. We haven't gotten. It's a new month. It's June. We haven't gotten a new review on Apple, written one anyway. We lost Crawler.
Oh, we just lost Crawler. He was like, "Oh, we're not talking about Lego anymore. I'm out."
I did not mean to do that. I pressed the wrong button on a minimized thing.
Oh yeah, leave a review on Apple. We have not gotten one since the beginning of May, so make sure you hit that, put that review in there. Leave 5 stars on Spotify. Check out the Patreon. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. And follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and I think that's TikTok. Yeah, I think that's it. And I do think so. Last week, there was some very unfortunate news, and since we have Crawler here, our good friend N64 Josh lost his son. I guess a couple weeks ago now. So my thoughts are with him, and he's such a great person that I can't imagine what he's going through right now. So if you know Josh or want to show him some support, you can send him a message. There is a GoFundMe that's going around, but anything you could do would be helpful.
Yeah, and I know you guys kind of mentioned it on Nintendo Powercast last week, but do you want to talk about some of the streams that he's doing?
Yeah, so he used to play Monster Hunter with his son, and so I think I might be.
I think it's the last Saturday. I think he listed 4 Saturday, but that'll probably end up being the last Saturday every month, kind of.
Okay, so I would say a Saturday a month they're gonna be playing Monster Hunter with the community. So if you have Monster Hunter or if you want to just play with the community, you should definitely check that out. I think that those are the streams that he's doing. I'm not sure if he had any other ones.
Well, Josh, we love you.
It.
Yeah. So you brought up Minecraft, and we actually did have some news.
Wait, hold on. So Crawler was our first guest ever. I don't think we asked him the question.
Oh, I think you're right. When did that start?
Oh, I don't know when that started. Johnny knows how this. I'm surprised Johnny's bringing this up.
Yeah,
it's gonna be detrimental to him, but
yeah, but I don't think it was part of the thing. Back when we started. Fine. All right. We always ask this, and of course, he's going to give the wrong answer. But what do you prefer, Super Mario Bros. 3 or Super Mario World?
I am a Super Mario World person mainly because that was my first console that I owned. I had played Mario 1, Mario 2, Mario 3 on NESs at friends' houses and around. But Super Mario World was the first time that I had the console at home. It was a pack-in game. It was that magical adventure of just you had to go back and replay those levels once the blocks were in, and Star Road and all that kind of. It's just so many good things that had that in that game.
It's still incorrect.
The cape is still inferior to the Tanuki and Raccoon Tail.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
The cape is not fun. I don't like the cape as much, but you got Yoshi and you got lots of other fun stuff.
The cape is basically just the paper airplane and Paper Mario 1000-Year Door.
Yep.
I can't
angle
that thing
it back up
in that game either. So.
All right. Well, Johnny. So what are we tied now?
No, that's actually World.
No, it's Super Mario's pulling further apart.
Yeah,
right?
World's up by 2 right now.
That's right.
So if you want to be a guest on the podcast, if you like Super Mario Bros. 3 over Super Mario World, please reach out.
Johnny's begging. Oh, that's great. All right, can I talk about Minecraft now?
Sure.
All right. So basically, like the day after we put out our episode, Netflix listened to it and was like, "Oh, well, you guys like video game adaptations. Here's Minecraft, the series for Netflix. We're already making a movie, not Netflix, but there is going to be a Minecraft movie. Now there's a series, and our whole topic is about video game adaptations. And I don't know, like, is it going to be oversaturated? Is it already oversaturated? Crawler, you listened to the episode last week.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Again today, just to make sure I was up on everything.
oh, yeah, double listen. So, what are your thoughts on just where we're at right now?
In general, I think that everything needs to go the way that Amazon and Bethesda attacked Fallout, where it's not tied directly to it's tied to the IP, but it's not directly tied to a game that you played. Because playing a game that you played, watching it's a 6 to 100-hour experience depending on the game that you're playing.
Mhm.
That doesn't something's going to get cut out. Just like when a book is adapted, they butcher it up, it ends up on the cutting room floor, stuff is taken out of context, out of order, incorrectly, just all sorts of stuff. So Fallout took something where we're in that world, there's over 100 vaults that are scattered across the United States, and we've only seen there's been 5 games, right? 6 games. Fallout 1, 2, 3, 4, I guess 76,
76.
and New Vegas, right? So
Mhm.
6 games, so 6 different vaults, and there's lore that you've kind of found out about other vaults and stuff, and so there's some that they can't really tap into there, but the unnamed vaults, like what they did with 31, 32, and 33, is really cool and unique, and I think that I mean, I won't go into spoilers, but I think that they'll have a game re-release kind of tie in with season 2 probably,
Mm.
in a cool way. Like, just, hey, if you didn't play this again, and it might have some important context to it. But not like, I don't know what the Halo show is doing, and like I haven't, like Johnny, I haven't watched season 2. I have Paramount Plus still, so I guess I could sit down and do it. I need to. Um, like Johnny did say, the fights were really cool. Like when you see a Marine just explode in pink mist after a needler hits him, that's really cool. Like, they did a good job with that. But otherwise, like, I don't even know what planet were they even on. I don't even know if it fell into kind of some of the lore. Like, what they should have done with Halo is show us what Blue Team is doing, or go way back and kind of rehash some of the stuff in Reach that you saw either in some cutscenes or in the lore. Like, the lore that came in the special edition of Reach with Halsey's journal, like, that is one of the few things out of a special edition of a game that I sat down and I actually like read it. Halsey's journal is really cool in the Halo lore, and they could have done like a young Spartan program going through training. Like, John kills like Marines, like, with just in training, because he's super strong and they don't think he's what he is. And like, they could have gone through that whole timeline, and the Spartans were secret and they weren't this like thing that were just out there. And I don't know, they could have just done stuff away from whatever it was they attempted to do.
Mhm.
And tying in a little bit with like The Last of Us, that game's already a movie, kind of. You're just playing through set pieces. I think, and I think the Academy for Television Arts or whatever recognized it as well. Like, the best episode that they did was
Mm.
the Bill
And Frank.
and Frank episode, and that was in the game. That was only kind of a letter that you found after Bill was dead. So, like, they expanded upon that, something that exists in the world, but you don't necessarily know how it all happened and went down. And they took an hour and 10 minutes or whatever it was, and really expanded upon it. And it was just a really great piece of television that they made.
Yeah, no, I think that's
it's a good
it's
point.
a good point.
I think that is probably my favorite episode in The Last of Us, because I had played The Last of Us game. I knew the story beats, but when like you said, the Bill and Frank in the game, it's like an offhand comment, or like there is, I think it's a collectible that you find the letter.
Yeah, it's the letter. Yeah.
So you don't really know anything about that. So I did like how they expanded on that, but then the rest of the show was just, it was the game, and they didn't really expand outside of the game, which is fine because everybody loves that game story. But I hope for season 2 they do expand the world a little bit, because there's something that happens in the second game that I just don't know how they're going to get around, or like how they're going to.
I should finish that game.
Well, it happens
I haven't.
relatively early.
Oh yeah.
I won't spoil it, but
And that's the thing. They could take that second season and not do the game, and they could, because how many year jump does game
It's
1 to
like,
game 2?
I think it's like,
It's a decent amount.
yeah, it's like 8
I
years.
think.
Is it like
It's 8
10?
years? I don't remember.
No, there's no way to know.
Yeah, there's no way to know.
But what they could do is just find and create stories that took place in that time as kind of a time killer, because if they do this and do season 2 right off the bat, they're gonna find themselves in a Game of Thrones situation where
5 years. It's 5 years.
they're getting ahead of the game or the original IP being developed and created. And
we don't
then
talk about
you
Game
get
of
a
Thrones and how they ended it. We don't talk about
you
that.
get a season 8 of Game of Thrones where they don't have source material.
We don't talk about that. That doesn't exist. It ended with season 7.
That's like Scrubs. I feel like you don't talk about the last season of
we don't
Scrubs.
talk about,
Or that 70s show.
Yeah.
Oh, there was
Man,
Oh, there
there's
was
so
90s
many.
show. No, I agree.
Oh yeah,
I think
that's getting a
It
second
wasn't the
season,
same
right?
after Topher Grace left on that 70s show.
Yeah. What were you saying, Johnny?
No, I think that is the adaptations that expand the world do the best, and the way the Last of Us worked so well is they worked with the, Naughty Dog, or was it Druckmann?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that was
Yeah,
the
I
Bill
think
and
he was a
Frank-
credited executive producer on the whole thing.
Yeah, so the Bill and Frank story was probably something that he would have loved to put into the game, but it didn't really make sense for the game, so he was able to tell that story in the show.
Yeah, because he's not he's not Kojima to have you put the controller down for an hour and a half and watch something.
I think last week we went through the list of all the adaptations that are coming out, and I'm pretty sure Death Stranding was on there.
Yeah.
I don't know why you would want that or how they would do it, but
Apocalypse Mail Deliveries, the movie.
I don't know. I mean, like, I just think it's a good point that you brought up, because like you and Johnny, you guys have both played The Last of Us. I haven't. So like, even though I didn't know who Bill and Frank was, like I knew who they were just through people talking about the game, but not knowing who they were or their relationship, I wasn't like out of the dark. I got to experience it with everybody else, but for those that did know, it's just kind of extra content.
So all right,
And
bringing up
you pretty much did play the game. The only thing you missed out on was throwing a brick across the room, having somebody react to it, and you running up and bashing them with a
the
bottle or a
ladders,
brick
the
or something like
ladders
that.
too,
Yeah,
and putting
the
ladders
ladders
up on the wall. I did. All right, so since you said that you haven't played Last of Us, I did want to bring this up because you tweeted something this week, or maybe when was the state of play? It was last week.
Yeah, it was last Wednesday, I think. I still haven't watched it
something
yet.
so unhinged that I think we need to bring it up. It has nothing to do with video game adaptations, but we have to bring this up because I think our community needs to know that I am not the one that has terrible takes. Cheesy is the one that has terrible takes.
Okay.
And
I mean, you still have.
I don't want to misquote you, so I gotta find it. But it was just, I read it. I'm like, what are you doing? I would.
What am I doing?
Anything like this?
I just I took it out of your playbook. Of course, you would say something like that.
Astrobot looks like Wait, hold on.
You got it. Just read.
There's two. Well, wow, there's two of them. Okay. It says Astrobot looks like the more fun Super Mario Odyssey.
Yeah.
It was a 2-minute trailer, and they just
Uh-huh.
stole all the ideas from Mario.
I mean, I get it. It is a Mario game, but like what I saw in that 2-minute trailer just looked like more fun. Some things that we didn't get to do in Odyssey. And the
Because they
key
just
word
ripped
that
it
you're
from
missing
Star
there,
Fox. They just ripped it from
Johnny,
Star Fox.
the key word that you're missing is looks. I haven't played it, so it may not be. But just from that 2-minute trailer, like I don't know. I just think it looks like a really good time. And
I mean,
good
it
for
looks fun, but it
PlayStation
doesn't
for
look
having like
anywhere
a
close to Mario Odyssey standards.
we'll
Then
see.
you had this other one. I gotta be honest. I think Astrobot looks more charming than anything Nintendo put out in the Switch era.
I just think it looks like
That's
pure
factually
fun,
incorrect.
man.
It's factually incorrect.
Factually?
Yes.
Do we have checkers?
Yeah.
Did I get a community note?
I'm saying I'm
On
bringing
that
this up
tweet?
because we have a large Nintendo fan base, and they need to know. They need to know. They need to tell you that you're wrong.
Could we get an Astrobot series? I feel like that would be easy, honestly. Like the character itself just seems charming. Like it seems like PlayStation has a good idea of what they want that character to be, especially now that it's not tied to VR, which is also kind of sad because it's like PSVR 2 is like.
I mean, Astrobot's Playroom was a tech demo, but it was
good.
a very well received tech demo.
Yeah.
I feel bad for Astrobot because it's on PlayStation. It would do so much better on Nintendo platforms.
No, I know, and that's what I'm saying. Like it looks like a Nintendo game. I agree with you.
Yeah, I think I said I think my controversial take was like, is it bad that the only thing that I'm excited for from the State of Play is a Nintendo game?
That's good.
So are you campaigning for Astrobot to be in the next Smash then?
Ooh.
That would be cool. I mean, do you think we would ever get a Sony rep?
A first party IP? No. The only because I mean the Sony rep we have is Cloud and Sephiroth, and that's from Square. So no.
I don't know.
I mean,
I think we might see it. I think we might see it eventually.
I guess we have Snake too, which that was kind of a PlayStation title.
We were talking about this for Fortnite and how it's kind of a shame that you know, all of the gaming like all the gaming platforms are represented in Fortnite except for Nintendo, because Nintendo's being a bunch of bums and babies.
Mm-hmm.
So the same goes for the fact with Smash Brothers, and all of the gaming platforms are represented except for PlayStation. Like, why don't these people want to have fun?
Shareholders are ruining it all for us.
All right, so we got off track.
Well, speaking of that, but how about that as an adaptation? Like
Shareholders, the movie?
No, like I want, I don't even know. Master Hand and Crazy Hand just take a Mortal Kombat type approach and call everybody together for a fight. I don't know. Like
maybe they will go that route, because we have the Mario movie. We have Zelda movie.
We need like a Mario. We need like a Mario Kart, more Mario Kart, and
just like
I'm sure they could do something with that. And I'm sure we're gonna get a Donkey Kong movie. There's a whole kingdom in there that we didn't really get to see.
And you have Seth Rogen, like he's probably tied to it somehow, or creatively working on it.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll have Luigi's Mansion probably.
Yeah, I hope so.
And when we get when we finally get a Donkey Kong movie, we'll get a Donkey Kong side scroller that's not a Donkey Kong Country, but like one where he can actually pick up the Mushroom Kingdom power-ups like he does in the movie.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Donkey Kong was awesome.
Yeah. So I mean, NES remix kind of, but with between Donkey Kong and Mario Brothers.
Is there any adaptation that you would like to see that hasn't been done yet? That probably will be done, but one that you would love to see tomorrow.
Let's let's stop doing Star Fox games and just make a movie out of it. I mean, they haven't made a game in a while, but like, use the puppets or whatever that they got sitting around and make a
Yeah.
whole like they kind of look like Crank Anchor puppets a little bit from Comedy Central way back in the
Yeah.
day. Like, just make a self-aware kind of comedy out
Yeah.
of it, and have Slippy and Falco bickering at each other, and like that
It
could
would
be.
do
I'd
really
watch
well
that.
as like an animated. Yeah, a puppet movie would be funny, but like as an animated movie, that worked really well. I want a
I-
Yeah.
Metroid. I want a Metroid movie. I think Metroid would do really well as a movie.
Mhm.
I think they need to get away from movies, and I mean, short of one-off kind of like the Mario. I don't know how well Zelda's gonna do as a movie. Like, shows can flesh out characters a whole lot more, different, more elaborate kind of set pieces that you can explore and see kind of highlighted in that half hour to 45 minutes to an hour or whatever. And the thing is, on these streaming services and on HBO, they make them however long they need to make them. Like,
Mhm.
they're not beholden to the 45 minutes on network television or the hour kind of stringency of HBO anymore. HBO doesn't even do that anymore. I think some of the Last of Us episodes were an hour and 20, an hour, and then some were like 50 minutes. So whatever they need to kind of tell their story, they just do, and have it be an 8 to 10 episode limited series. And if they can wrap it up in kind of that whole instance, and if they want to expand on the story, they do it again. And because the cutting room floor just takes so much, like we were talking about, books and other stuff getting adapted, like, you can lose out on so much.
You know what they
Yeah,
should
but
have
I
cut from the Mario movie? They didn't.
The dog,
The
yeah,
dog
yeah,
scene.
yeah.
Johnny's just a broken record. I disagree with you, Crawler, because like even though I love watching TV shows, I think you just have to do it correctly, which is really hard to do when looking at like right now MCU. They made a whole series about Moon Knight, and honestly, I have forgotten most of that show and the character, and I think it would have been better if they would have introduced that character in a movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also just thinking about Knuckles in Sonic 2. You know, they made a Knuckles series. I haven't seen it yet, but people have said it's not good.
Yeah,
So
I think the Sonic movies have done stuff right. Uh, it has some kid fluff in it, but like, it's Sonic doesn't have a real plot anyway. He's just trying to get emeralds, right? That's all he's trying to do,
and go fast.
and go fast. So like Johnny said, I was listening to John. Like, nobody's beaten a Sonic game. No, nobody.
The Collection Revolution, the guest that we had on recently, has beaten all of the Sonic games. I don't know how he did it, but
That must have been
What makes
torture.
how
Oh my
anybody gets?
god.
Have you seen the blown out screenshots of like what the levels look like on Sonic? They're incredible, like crazy big things that nobody gets to appreciate
Yeah, I
because
don't, that's what I don't
you're
like
just
about
zooming
Sonic.
through it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they want you to go fast. Like the whole tagline is "gotta go fast," but then they make these levels that you're supposed to explore, and it's like I can't go fast and explore at the same time.
did the Mario movie go faster than the Sonic movie?
Like,
Like,
did it feel
Like
faster?
no, like lengthwise. I think Mario is like 85 minutes. Sonic, I think, is longer than that.
It's because they had that
Maybe.
dancing scene in the
In the
is
bar.
that the second one?
Yeah.
Wait, wait. One is
Yeah,
which
with
one
Tails,
prevents
right?
the wedding? Is that am I?
That's
what
the
is
second one. Yeah.
What a dumb plot. What
aren't
a
they in
stupid
Hawaii or
plot.
whatever for that? That was just a reason to go film in Hawaii.
Like, I understand people like the Sonic movies, and I don't really get it. That one, like the prevent wedding, like that was just dumb.
Johnny, how would you write a video game movie? Because it seems like you have a lot of opinions on how they've been
I would take
recently.
all the lore that we've had. Like, there's a plethora of lore in Super Mario Bros. And expand upon that. They shouldn't have spent so much time in New York City. Like,
Do
they spent
you-
way too much time in New York City.
But do you think that the Mario movie is a better video game adaptation than The Last of Us?
Mm,
No.
they're two different things.
Yeah, they're,
I know,
it-
because one is
well,
just
Last of Us
the
adapted a game,
right.
and Mario made its own story, essentially.
Like
Which-
Fallout and Mario would be better comparisons.
Fallout is the better at-
Because The Last of Us is just the game, and then a one-off episode that does a really good job explaining something that's from the game. But everything else in that is just the game.
What is the definition of adaptation? This is the second episode that we're doing. We probably should have looked that up because, like, for me, it's taking something that is already the source material, but adapting it to the big screen or silver
different
screen,
media.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So it doesn't have to be exactly the source material, right?
No, but that's what they kind of chose to do with Last of Us.
So it's a film or television series that is based on a video game, usually incorporating elements of the game's plot or gameplay. So it doesn't necessarily mean you have to adapt a game. It just means you have to.
Witcher's a
adapt
book.
Right.
Witcher's a book. So it's a book that became a game that became a TV show. But it's like those. It's not all the same stories. Like if it's in that like game lore, I think it counts as adaptation.
Crazy. I'm just thinking about it. Crazy how we didn't mention Pokemon at all.
We talked about Detective Pikachu. Oh,
No,
yeah,
but I'm talking about
actually,
like original. Like it was a game first, and then they made
Yeah.
the cards, and then they made the show. Or maybe the other way around. I don't know. Like I know the game was first, but maybe the show came first and then the
They
cards.
made the game to sell the
Actually,
cards.
I know.
Y-
Like last week, or a couple weeks ago, I tweeted out on the Communication Air Twitter about like what are people's favorite video game adaptations, and Clockwork Clone said that nobody really thinks about it, but Pokemon is an adaptation, like the TV show.
Which came first?
I think the game.
The
came
game
first.
came first. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'll see what he says.
I mean, and Ash was on adventures for what, 25 years? Didn't
20
they just
years.
Ash just kind of retired, right?
Yeah. Was that last year?
Yeah. And but
So, yeah.
I mean, but and then they I think Johnny watched it, right? Or did you both watch it? I haven't seen it yet. The Pokemon Concierge.
Concierge, yeah.
Is that good, bad,
That's
indifferent?
very good. It's very good.
I've only seen one episode,
And it's
so I can't
a
say.
different. I think it's a different type of show, different type of adaptation. It takes
What is that on?
world. It's on Netflix.
Netflix.
They're only like
Okay.
15-minute episodes, I think.
They're made for kids.
No, I honestly I think they're made for adults. Like the main character is going through some stuff that kids would not understand.
Bluey's made for kids, but it's made for adults too.
But Pokemon, so I think I brought this up, how like adaptations are meant to sell whatever they're adapting. Like Pokemon, the anime is clearly meant to sell cards and the game. Like that's the whole point of that show.
Yeah, their return on printed pieces of cardboard are much better than video games that they're making.
So in the Discord, this is why I bring it up, is in the Discord there's been some debate going on about this. So the Pitsy Jr. says video game adaptations are great, but please release a game with it too. I bet Mario Wonder would have sold twice as much if they released it hand in hand with the movie. Personally, if we could get a Skyrim show, that would be endless and awesome. That would be cool. A Skyrim show. But yeah, I mean, I've been preaching this, that I think a game should release alongside the adaptation. It's not like Mario Wonder didn't sell well. It sold like 13, 14 million units, which it outsold Spider-Man 2. Get wrecked.
It was the fastest selling Mario, right?
But
Yeah,
the problem
2D
is
Mario, 2D Mario.
games are on
Yeah,
a 5-year
yeah.
cycle now, and movies are on about a 2.5, 3 at most.
I don't know. They could have released Super Mario Bros. Movie alongside Mario Wonder, because the Mario Bros movie was in development for like 5 years, wasn't it? That they could have
So
delayed
yeah,
it.
animated movies take longer. Like Into the Spider-Verse took like 5 years, and then they're cranking out 2 movies kind of in rapid succession. I think
I
because they kind of know what they're doing now.
Yeah,
But
and I think part of that might have been the opening of Super Nintendo World in the States.
Oh, that's
Because
true.
that opened up in February, and then the movie released in April.
Well, Flea also says, I definitely agree that it would have been a lot better to release Mario Wonder a lot closer to the movie, even if it meant delaying the movie. And they had delayed the movie
Yeah.
before that.
almost a year, right? It was supposed to be.
Mm,
Oh no, a
it
couple
was
months.
supposed
It
to be
was supposed to be
holiday.
holiday, and
Yeah.
so that would have been like November, December, and they pushed it to what, March?
April.
But then No Less Guy says releasing the game and movie at the same time is the worst call. Don't confuse the casual audience. Release window was just right. I disagree. Hard disagree.
I think, like I was kind of saying last week, you don't want to put out a game where people could just like speed run it and then spoil everything online for what the movie is going to be.
But that game's not, that doesn't have spoilers for the movie.
No, but I'm just saying in general, like for whatever the next adaptation is, you don't want to put out a game that's going to spoil
People
the
spoil the
series
movie
or the
day
movie.
one anyway. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but you want that window to be a happy medium, like within a 3 to 4 week kind of window, have something out and ready for people. Like, I mean, you guys were talking about it a little bit last week, but like, this isn't video game to movie. This is movie to video game. But like, I remember playing episode 3, the video game,
Hmm.
and like, there's an alternate ending where Anakin defeats Obi-Wan in that game. Like, they have like there's cool little funny things in there, but like, yeah, the late 90s, early 2000s were full of those just tying, like Toy Story the game, and like,
I used to
Oh,
love Toy
so
Story, the game.
good. Yeah.
Lion King the game. Lion King the game, one of the best on SNES.
That's
if
hard,
you hate
man.
yourself,
It's a hard game. But I will
it's
say
playable now. It's playable now with save states and rewinds, but
the stats don't lie. Like whenever a new video game adaptation comes out, the games shoot up in popularity. Like Fallout, it just happened to. Last of Us, it just happened to. We saw it with Mario. Like it's clear they should do it. It doesn't make sense for them not to do it. To release a game or like for Fallout, if I was Fallout, I would release a DLC for that Vault 31, 32, 33, or whatever the vaults were.
there was, I think, a
There's
vault,
a next gen patch.
well, so Fallout 4, or yeah, got a next gen patch in Fallout 76. I think you could get a Vault 33 jumpsuit and stuff.
Okay.
So what you're saying though is pretty interesting because you would have to have the writers of the movie or the series like working first and then the developers working second, which is kind
The
of
way
backwards
I'm
in
thinking of it
our
is you
medium.
don't. But I'm not thinking of it as you have a game that's based on the show. I'm saying you have a
Yeah.
game in that series
Within the IP.
within the same IP, not necessarily tied into the plot of the show. Like Super Mario Bros. Wonder has nothing to do with the Super Mario Bros. Movie.
Okay. Yeah. I get what you're saying.
But I mean, I understand if it was Last of Us, it wouldn't really make sense. I mean, the game's already been out, but if it was Last of Us, they just adapted the game pretty much beat for beat.
And then a
They
couple
could-
months later, they canceled their multiplayer.
Oh yeah. They should have released some multiplayer when they released the show. Bunch of dum-dums. I'm interested to see, like, with God of War. I don't know what they're going to adapt with God of War.
I don't know. I don't know if I want that. Like, Amazon is doing a good job with what they had. They worked really well with Bethesda and did Fallout, but I don't want God of War beat for beat. Like,
How upset
unless
are you guys gonna be if it's Dwayne the Rock Johnson?
It's
as
not going to be
Kratos.
Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Uh
He's going to be like 60 years
Uh.
old at that point.
So
Well, is it gonna be 2016 God of War, or like they could go back? What would be interesting? What I would like to almost see is young Kratos fighting from God of War 1, 2, and 3 back in the day. Like
Yeah,
run through those stories.
Yeah, yeah. I wonder what they're gonna do. I don't know. I would think that they're gonna do more of the 2016
Yeah.
and the Ragnarok storyline, because then they could have more characters. Like it could be Kratos and his son. I don't know. Yeah, I'm really interested to see what they do with God of War. But God of War Ragnarok is like the end of that IP, which it's not the end. But
No, because I mean we'll get to play as Loki.
so I wonder what they'll do, if they'll release a game, or because these companies have to realize, like, hey, our games are selling like crazy now that these games, or that now that the adaptations are out. That's why they re-released Last of Us Part 2. And even though it was 3 years old, that's why we're going to get a Breath of the Wild Deluxe when the movie comes out.
No.
I was listening. I Nintendo Prime had a video out that he was going through stuff. If they did Ocarina of Time in Unreal, like a true better remake of that would be cooler to get. And we don't even know what timeline the Zelda game or Zelda movie is gonna fall into. Maybe they'll piss us all off and they'll go Spirit Tracks after the flood. And
I don't know. I feel like you have to go Breath of the Wild at this point.
Yeah, it's the most sold, like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are the highest selling Zelda games. But they do love Ocarina of Time. They do love Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, but embrace the cutscenes that you get with the Divine Beasts and all that kind of stuff of what happened 100 years prior.
Yeah,
and do stuff like that, like with the 4 champions walking around and the fight that you're preparing for before Ganon is sealed and that kind of stuff. That would be cool.
Yeah.
I do
And
want to
find a way to make them talk.
NamesJared did leave a comment on YouTube saying, I was so skeptical of the Fallout show, going into it, ended up being my favorite video game adaptation so far. Like you guys said, it really does feel like we're at the start of video game adaptation renaissance. So,
what I know you guys talked about 90s Mortal Kombat. What did you think of the new Mortal Kombat? I didn't like that they just added a new character that nobody knew.
Yeah, the new character I was not a fan of. But I think for the most part it was okay. Like, it was just an okay movie.
I'm kind of surprised that NetherRealm didn't make him a character in Mortal Kombat 1.
Yeah.
Like they had an opportunity, or it could have been DLC in 11. Like I'm kind of surprised because I just went away from. I've only watched it the once on HBO or whatever. Because I think they're making a second one, aren't they?
Yeah, I think the second one might be coming out this year.
Because they had some really cool, honest to the other characters that they had. Like the Scorpion. They had reverence for what their abilities were and how they kind of fought, and then they just had this random new character that had all this power and stuff, and it's like, it didn't really.
Watching it, I thought he was gonna be somebody that we knew. Like I thought he was gonna be like. Turns out he was Scorpion or something, but no, he's just some random dude.
Yeah. So I mean, that's one where, like, especially a fighting game where it doesn't like. Well, Mortal Kombat's different. Mortal Kombat's got a lot of story. That's almost one where I want it to stick to what we all know and not embellish. But honestly, I think what will do better, and I haven't seen the Assassin's Creed stuff, but like they could do probably a really cool like Black Flag type story, but not do it around like your character, just like stuff that's happening. Like make a cool pirate of the Caribbean kind of assassin movie, and find stuff that's just like within the IP that's not like I don't want the story rehashed in a movie or a show. I really like what they've done with Fallout, and like Castlevania isn't super my style. Like I'm not big into the anime style, so I haven't watched a ton of that stuff on Netflix for Castlevania. But I think that kind of just takes kind of the aesthetic, right? And kind of just is it Richter and Simon? And
I don't know.
because I haven't watched it, but like I know it's gotten good reviews. But then like you also have Arcane, which is like delving more into the characters in that world. Like Overwatch, like where is Blizzard on this? They could do so much with an Overwatch show.
Yeah, it
Like
kind of writes itself.
yeah, like a Tracer episode, a Reinhardt episode, and like they could do there's what 30 something characters now in that. Like I think Titanfall could make a really cool, because you're like Titanfall 1, you're just fighting these battles and there's story kind of happening in and around. So there's not really like I said, I wouldn't necessarily want the handwritten campaign of Titanfall 2 turned into something, but like the overarching war that happened in Titanfall 1, that could be kind of cool. There were 9 different battles, I think, that took place throughout the campaign, quote unquote, of Titanfall. That could be pretty cool that they explore. If people want more story background stuff, I'm not big into Apex, but like Apex is in that same world, and there's characters there. But like those character hero shooters, like that they took the time to write kind of interesting backstory type arcs for them. Explore that, because we haven't seen it, short of like maybe a short. Blizzard does kind of longer 5-minute cutscenes for some of them, but like expand on that and let us see something.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of similar. You mentioned Overwatch, but I think ARMS would be a really cool show, especially if that's an IP that Nintendo still wants to expand upon. I think that would be really fun. And like, I just think of it as like a 90s Saturday morning cartoon. It doesn't have to be like the greatest thing ever, but could be just a good time. Johnny,
Arms is dead.
I don't think so. You really think Arms is dead?
It didn't sell more than 1-2
Did it
Switch.
sell less than 1-2 Switch? Okay.
It did sell less than that, but like Min Min is in Smash.
Yeah, so was Banjo.
You would think. Yeah, well, that's not Nintendo's doing. But like, seriously, Rare, what the heck? Like,
Diddy Kong
why
Racing
haven't you
could
done
make a good movie.
anything?
Like,
yeah, Diddy Kong Racing.
So is Ness and Lucas. They don't care about the Mother series.
Maybe they do.
Maybe that'll be a big thing in June. You never know.
Yeah. Okay. So speaking of June, are there adaptations that you think they're going to mention or we're going to see trailers for? Because we're right around the corner. Just maybe like a couple, either this week or next week.
They've been secretly making a Metroid movie while they've been making Metroid Prime 4, and it comes out.
That's why it's been taking so long.
Okay, so I think I probably have said this on Nintendo Powercast. I would love a Metroid movie.
I already said that earlier in this episode. You can't just take my idea.
Oh, I can. I just took it. But my casting might make people upset, but I think it would work. Is Zoe Saldana as Samus? Like, she's a huge sci-fi fan. She's knows a lot of fight choreography. Gamora. If you're wondering, Johnny, it's Gamora.
Yeah, the go-to sci-fi woman.
Yeah.
She does know how to bring in box office money, because she's in what, three out of the like biggest grossing movies of all time.
Oh yeah, what Galaxy,
Endgame.
Avatar.
Yeah, Endgame and the 2 Avatars are like way up there.
Yeah.
Well, Brie Larson has done cosplay of Samus.
No, I know. She really wants to play.
She's a Nintendo fan too.
Yeah.
And they have a good relationship with her.
Does that
As an
script kind of write itself, or would it be difficult? Because the whole point of a Metroid game is you're kind of backtracking to go get power ups, and
But there's a ton of lore. If you
She
Metroid
doesn't
has a
lose all of
ton
her
of
stuff
lore.
in a
no,
show. She's just going and fighting all those monsters that you fight, and that's what it
You
is.
just start off like she doesn't have those. You could do it that way. She could lose her powers, get amnesia or something. They do it all the time in movies.
Yeah.
No, they're
but
never
then
going
is
to do
it?
that for Metroid. Metroid's barely hanging on.
Well, who was it? Somebody put out a tweet today that was like, "We heard about the Switch 2. We've got like an official announcement for the next Nintendo console that it will be like coming out sometime, or they'll be announcing it this fiscal year. But we haven't seen a trailer for Metroid Prime 4. That's wild."
Oh, we had the splash screen 5 years ago.
We got a
Yeah.
logo.
Yep.
And who knows, that might change.
We'll probably see it in the June Direct, I think.
I don't think my pre-order's good anymore. I had it at Best Buy. I don't think it's good anymore. They don't charge you till you buy it anyway, so.
All right, so I was thinking we could do what our favorite adaptations are. Let's do like our top 3 adaptations.
Okay.
Of just like of video games, or
Yeah,
just
video
in
games.
general.
Yeah.
Okay.
Video games.
Crawler, you go first.
I don't know if it's recency bias, but like Fallout has been like just the nods to all the stuff in the game. The Pip Boys looked really good. Just all the computers looked right. They had it was honest to the IP. I think that I think it's a lot of recency bias, but I think it will hold up over the test of time. That was a really good adaptation.
I agree.
Do we want to go round robin and not do 3 right? Bing bing
Yeah,
bing.
we do round robin. Cheesy, what do you got?
I really like the Cuphead series. I think it's a lot of fun. It kind of reminds me of like early Disney like cartoon shows. The voice acting is really good. The animation is really fun. And the fact that they're able to just create stories on something that is just Cuphead, and to see some of the bosses. Do you see all of them? I know you see some big ones, but anyway, like a lot of like what you see in the game is brought to the show and just brings a whole new like life to that series. So
That took a
I
while to
think,
come out too, right? Did that get delayed? The show,
I believe
like
so.
before
Yeah.
it came out.
Yeah.
I never sat down and watched it all, but I did
It's
start watching.
it's just fun. Like there's not really a lot to expect from it. There is like an overarching like story, but each episode is kind of its own thing at the same time. And this third season is supposed to be coming out, I think, this year, and that will be the final season.
Wait,
But
there's,
for what
there's
they,
multiple seasons?
I didn't know there
Yeah.
was a second season. So.
yeah, yeah. So far, I would say like Cuphead has done a really great job, and especially when you just think of that development team and how Cuphead even started and where it's at now. It's incredible.
We were talking about Cuphead last week, and it made me want to play Cuphead again. So I bought it.
You bought it.
on
I saw your
Steam
tweet. Was that
Deck.
today you tweeted that?
Yeah, I bought it on Steam Deck. So it's another reason why they should release these games with the adaptations.
All right. How about you, Johnny?
All right. I'm going with Detective Pikachu. I think that was just like, that's one of the movies where they could have really screwed it up and made it super, just, I don't know, bad. It could have just been really bad with the premise and everything. But I think they did a really good job. I mean, Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu will always be ingrained in my head. I liked how all the Pokemon look. I like just the just the mystery of it all. I thought they did a really good job with that one.
Did you play Detective Pikachu or no?
I did not know.
Okay.
I mean, I played the demo and then I was like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
Did you play the second one?
I bought the second one. I have not loaded it up yet.
Really? I thought you were gonna make content around it.
There's
Yeah,
the content
no, I didn't.
making. There's the content I'm making about it. I haven't played it yet.
No, I didn't buy the second one just because I heard it wasn't really worth it. But I did like it on the DS. Like, it's not going to be for everyone, but I thought it was fun.
We'll get a chance to play it when they make it into a movie again. So
yeah. Well, I don't know. Did the second, like, is the sequel greenlit? Are they actually doing that?
I don't know.
I thought there was, like, they didn't approve it, and then later they said they did. So I don't know. I hope so, because I thought I liked it, and I want to see more Pokemon. Like, I want to see more live action Pokemon. That's really what I want.
Yeah. All right, Crawler, you got another one?
So the Resident Evil franchise definitely got away from a lot of stuff later on.
Have you
but the
watched
first
them
couple,
all? There's like 8 of them.
There's like, I remember one that was like when Blu-rays were first coming a thing. They were on like a bus. I think I have that one on Blu-ray. Like, I don't even remember what that one's called. But like, I'm thinking of like the first one, kind of like
the first one out of 8.
Because doesn't that have what's her name from it's got Mila Jokovic Jokovic, and then it's got what's her name from Fast and Furious too, right?
I don't know.
Michelle Rodriguez?
Yeah.
Oh.
She's in, isn't she in the first one? I think she's in the first one. She's one of the commandos going down into Umbrella. But like all I can think of that stands out was really cool, and that was the laser grid.
Yeah, the laser grid was really cool. And the liquor. Does that one have the liquor? That one have a liquor? Or
it's got the dogs. Was a later one? The liquor was maybe 1 or 2 down. Yeah. But they had the dogs, the Dobermans or whatever. And they were kind of honest to like the game. It was set in Raccoon City. The main character had amnesia and was found in the mansion and all that kind of like. I think they tried to kind of be honest to the stuff, and you just learn how Umbrella is pretty evil in the games, and you kind of learn how evil Umbrella is in the movies too. So I think they did a good job there.
Yeah, those are my guilty pleasure movies. They're just so weird, but I love them.
Didn't they just have like some kind of Netflix Resident Evil show?
Oh yeah, and it was a CG, like a CG with.
No, it was a live action show. It had.
Wasn't there something more recently with like Leon and?
Oh yeah, there probably was. There's a lot of like animated movies.
Yeah, there was a CG with Leon and Protecting the President, like kind of a precursor to 4, kind of, I thought. Or maybe after 4, I don't remember. But
yeah, but there was recently a live action TV show, I think came out a couple of years ago. It wasn't that great. It got canceled already.
Maybe I did watch that. I don't remember. There's a lot of stuff out there.
Well, my next pick is Pixels, the Adam Sandler movie. Thought it was great.
I thought that was no. It's supposed to be a terrible movie.
I think it's kind of fun, but it's
Pac-Man is a good boy.
Yeah. That is a good moment. Speaking of which, I never saw Tetris.
That was one of the things I wanted to talk about. That's probably my third one. Have you guys seen so you haven't seen it? Did you see it?
No, I saw it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much of it is embellished, but like,
yeah, I think the car chase might be embellished.
I mean, I don't doubt that trying to get into 1984 or 1986 like Russia was the easiest thing, and especially since I don't know if I don't know if he had a legitimate work visa to try to go in there and get stuff either, if that was embellished as well. But I think IGN is having the creator and the guy that like licensed it at their. Did they already have their thing this week? Their IGN Live. They were
I
gonna
don't
have.
think so.
They were gonna have both of them at that thing. So, but yeah, like the whole premise of that, just because I mean Tetris, the fact that they took a game like that and it wasn't just talking animated tetraminos falling and having conversations with you, like that could be kind of a funny thing too, I guess, maybe. And they mourn their brethren when they get deleted, but like, so make
Oh
that
my
animated
God.
show, I
That's
guess.
dark.
Yeah,
That's
that,
dark.
that
But like they found a cool way to kind of make a movie about Tetris.
yeah.
Yeah, again,
Sorry,
we were thinking
what
about
were
like,
you were
does that technically count as an adaptation? Because it's like,
It's loosely based, right?
well, it's not like
Well,
based
no,
on
it
the
is.
game.
I,
It's based
I
on
mean,
the story of getting the game.
the story of, but like, you get to
released.
see.
Right.
It falls in that same category as Gran Turismo. Like I thought Gran Turismo was pretty good too. It's as much of a game about racing as it could be about a game about race. Like it's a bunch of movie about racing as it could be about a game about racing.
Yeah.
Cheesy, what is your
So
real second pick?
if Texas wasn't your real pick, what's your real pick? Sonic?
I want to say Mario, if I'm being honest. Like, I know it's not the best script. It's a kid's movie, which is what it should be. But I think for how long we've had to wait for a Mario movie to be made after the live action and for it to be good. And like, just, I don't know, the magical feeling you got coming out of the theater of just the joy that it brought from the characters, the music. I mean, the music really is the like the top performer of the show, I guess. Because the way they remixed all of that but still made it sound new is great and familiar.
I got the LP sitting right back there.
And maybe it's because I watched all the Illumination movies before I went to go see Super Mario.
And you've been to Super Mario World, and
yeah. So I don't know. It honestly was a big year last year. I can understand why Nintendo was so hyped about it and how all of us were so worried. Like if we just go back to the timeline of like, oh no, it's animated. Oh no, it's Chris Pratt and Seth Rogen and Charlie Day. Like what are we doing here? And then it kind of was. I mean, it was a success. It made over $1 billion at the box office. I agree that it could have been better. I agree there's probably parts that they could have taken out of it. And they didn't really need to like speed run it. It's a lot of like, and this happens, and this happens, and this happens, and this happens, and that's not really good storytelling.
I think that happens a lot in kids' movies. It's not a whole lot of how I get from here to here. It's I'm here, and then I'm here, and then I'm here.
Yeah, but I do miss like older Pixar movies where it wasn't like that. There was actually reason for why things are happening, but then this happens, which means that this had to happen. So yeah, I mean, I agree. It's probably just because it's easier for kids to follow. But I was pretty pleased with how it turned out.
It's the Easter eggs in that really make that
Yeah.
that sell it. It's the stuff that it's great for kids. It has some stuff for regular adults, but like the true fans, there's a lot of Easter eggs in there.
I also just
the Mario Kart select your cart stuff.
Yeah.
Like that was a great nod to just the game.
I also just love the relationship between Mario and Luigi, something that you don't really get to see in the games, but they built on it. And like Mario calling Luigi Lou, just there's just a little more meaning behind these brothers.
What kind of world do they live in where they have an NES but they don't have Mario Brothers on the NES? He's just playing Kid Icarus.
Yeah. Johnny?
I may go with Mortal Kombat, the original 1995. If you want to feel like you're back in the 90s again, watch that movie because that is the 90s to a T. The music, the acting, like it's all 90s. And it's like just guilty pleasure watching that. Watch the first one, don't watch the second one. Second one sucks.
Got Miss Veronica Vaughn from Billy Madison as Sonya Blade.
Yeah, I don't think she is in the second one. I don't think
Yeah,
so.
they had a habit of recasting people back then for stuff.
Did you guys play the Backyard Sports?
Not really.
Not Backyardigans. Backyard Sports. No,
It's the same thing.
it's not. They're two different things.
Is that the same company that made Snowboard Kids and stuff too, or no?
I'm not sure. Backyard Sports, like, it would be perfect for today, and because, like, for those that are all worried about, like, companies going woke or whatever, like, that game had everybody was included in these sports, and I think it would just be fun to kind of have like a Sandlot type of movie.
It's not historically accurate to have women play with men.
They could make a Wii Sports Resort movie, probably.
Ooh, now we're talking. That would be fun.
Just have them come there and beat the crap out of everybody.
So I have one choice left.
What is that?
I'm going with Super Mario Bros. The movie.
Whoa.
Even though, and it's 100% because I'm a fanboy. Like, that movie is for fanboys, except for the first hour, or not first hour, because I guess it's only an hour and a half, but the first 15 minutes in the New York City. Like, they should have cut that. I hate that part so much. I fast forward through it all the time.
They should have ditched licensed music. We didn't need Beastie Boys. We didn't need some of the I'm trying to think some of the other music they had in there that
Take Me Away, or
Take on Me.
Take on Me, yeah. Because that was supposed to be a Donkey Kong song.
Like they just didn't need the license.
That's another kid movie thing. Like, they put popular music.
Is it though?
Yeah,
you have Beastie Boys? No, Beastie Boys in a
like Despicable Me. They do it too. Like, they do it in these kids movies.
So that's an Illumination thing then.
Yeah. And I found it funny that
Pixar doesn't do that.
Was it Beastie Boys at the end?
No, it's Mr. Blue Sky.
Yeah, and I wonder if Chris Pratt just likes that song because that was also
because it's in Guardians too.
In Guardians.
Well, so was
the licensing's just super cheap.
So was Beastie Boys.
Was it? But it wasn't that same song though. It wasn't.
Oh, you're right. It's like what was it? You got to right to fight.
Right to party.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the one in Super Mario Bros. Was the
No Sleep Till Brooklyn.
Yeah,
yeah.
But no,
they were like on No Sleep Till Brooklyn. They were playing 1-1. Like, just do a really cool remix of the original theme. Like,
but I guess what they thought was they have a lot of these references that longtime fans are going to get, but they also need to try to cater to people that don't really know Super Mario Bros. Or, kids that have never really, they don't have that connection. Like, they did have in the beginning, like the opening credits, I think they did like a Super Mario Bros. Song, or like at least the sound effects. So they were trying to cater to both audiences.
I forgot to ask my kids. I know you guys have talked I don't think all of them thought Bowser was the best. I would have to ask them, and I forgot to. But I think I would get, from at least my two girls, I think I would get a lot of Peach. But I don't know what William would say.
It's kind of funny though. While we're all playing Thousand Year Door, that is kind of the Bowser that's in the Mario movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's like the direction that they wanted Jack Black to go in.
And he's a
But
gamer too.
That game is
Well,
also
yeah.
20 years old. Like some of the stuff, the Peach part of that game feels like it's 20 years old. Like it's out of date. Like she has to teach the
Oh,
computer
yeah,
about
yeah.
love, and she has to teach the computer how to dance. Like, yeah, it's a stereotypical, like, you're a woman, so you should know about love and you should know how to dance. I don't think they would do that now. I would hope not.
No, she doesn't want to get married, and she can travel the world. That's what she did at the end of Odyssey.
Yeah, Odyssey. What? Cheesy, you give your last pick, or was Pixels actually one of your picks?
I wish I could say Wreck-It Ralph. I know that's not a video game, but it is a movie about video games.
I think it counts.
And then became they made Fix It Felix a game. Like
yeah, I've played it. It's fun. I mean, it's basically just Donkey Kong, but I don't know. That was a really good movie with so many different genres that they put in that movie, and it all worked. And it's a good story. I mean, you see Bowser.
With the second one.
The second one's
Bowser
just,
and Zangief in there, and they had
the Pac-Man ghosts,
guys. Cubert,
or one of them.
Cubert was hilarious.
Cubert must be super cheap to license because he was in Pixels. and Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah, Wreck-It Ralph is fantastic. I'm still annoyed with what they did with the second one.
Me too.
Like they should have leaned harder into, because they could have done modern video games. They didn't have to do internet.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that they were trying to cater to kids.
What I didn't like about the second one is how close everything was to what the real product is. So it was like a parody of that. And it's like, yeah, but the first one was all original games. Like, yeah, the Vanellope, whatever the kart racing game was, it was just Mario Kart, but they made it its own thing.
Yeah.
And then the Halo game, I mean, it still was its own thing. But then with the second movie, they just bring in all these platforms like Facebook and Twitter and call it something different. But it's
it doesn't even hold up anymore. Not
Twitter. Oh, you're right. Yeah.
They had to use eBay. Yeah, they used eBay. Well, it wasn't called eBay. It was like eBuy or something.
I don't know.
Yeah, that was
Disney lawyers tiptoeing around stuff. So it's not necessarily a video game adaptation, and I don't think it was done well compared to the source material, but something definitely pertaining about video games that didn't have it in the movie would have been, if they had done it right, Ready Player One. Like the whole first challenge is not this race that they have in the movie. It's playing joust against like a demon king or whatever in a cave, and like they could I guess that wouldn't translate well to blockbuster kind of whatever it was, and Steven Spielberg had his IP that he could kind of pull from a little bit with like the T-Rex and some of the other stuff that they put in there, but like, and then the second, what do they even do for the second challenge in the movie? Because in the game,
The Shining.
It's The Shining.
Oh, it's The Shining. So I guess in the book it's the War Games, like
right.
But it's even different because then in the book you had to
recite the lines word for word as you were going through the movie.
The one thing that Ready Player One annoys me with is if those were the challenges in the movie, there's no way people would not be able to figure it out. You're telling me nobody reversed in 5 years? Like once you couldn't like gamers are not that dumb. Like we would figure that out immediately. There's so many things that people figure out that you're like, how do they figure that out? But
two days into a game being out, like
Like, you're telling me nobody was like, you know what? Maybe I'll try to reverse. Maybe I'll try to go backwards on this.
And I wish they would have found a way to have Wade make it to the space arcade or whatever that he goes to and plays the perfect game of Pac-Man to get the extra life instead of
Just
having a bet with the curator about something that was said in a memory or whatever. And it's like, because that was a really cool thing. He plays a perfect game of Pac-Man and gets an extra life for doing that. But I mean, there's a lot of cool video game stuff that they could have done if they had done it right in that.
Even in the movie, like, they couldn't figure out the adventure Easter egg thing, and that's like one of the most iconic things in video game.
Well documented Easter eggs.
Nobody knows about the Easter egg that Adventure had the first Easter egg. Like, come on, get out of here, grow up. It's like when movies and TV shows try to show people playing video games, are always like, that's not how you play a video game. It's just not. Grow up.
Sometimes how you play Smash a little bit, but
that's true. The clicky clacks. But we are an hour and 20 minutes in. Now, I was on Nintendo Prime's podcast last week, and we went for like almost 5 hours. So I was trying to get there, but I don't think we can. I don't think we can get there. We'll have to invite like 6 other people on here. 9 spot. That was fun. We were trying to take on Jenny Nicholson's Star Wars.
Which, did you watch that, Cheesy? I spent my time watching it. It was very good.
I still need to watch Nintendo Live's Street Pass for a year, and that's like an hour and 30 minutes. So I need to get through that. Nothing. Probably. No, I know. Compared to the 4-hour video that she put out on the Star Cruiser, I will probably on my own. I don't think Hannah wants to sit there and watch 4 hours, and I really don't. So I'll probably put the playback speed up faster.
Oh, it's so good. Like, you're gonna miss her quips. Like, she's super witty. You're gonna miss a lot.
Acting like a Zoomer over here.
A Zoomer?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I love playback speed when it's up higher. It just sounds right to me.
I don't know if because I watched a 4.5-hour YouTube video, if YouTube tried to push more of that to me, but I watched Ryan Trahan like clipped all of his travel across America on a penny, like daily vlogs into one 4-hour and 45-minute YouTube video that he launched yesterday or the day before last. And I watched that over the last couple days.
That's the new thing, 4-hour videos.
And then there's double ads every 10 minutes or whatever in there, and you're making good money.
I wonder how much they made. How much she made on that specifically. It's over like 6 million views. But thanks for being here, Crawler. Thanks for being. I guess you're technically our second returning guest. So you weren't the first doing that, but
I'm still the OG. First? I'm still the OG.
We had the All In podcast.
Oh yeah.
But that was the first. You're the first returning by yourself guest. There you go.
True.
But where can people find you?
Best spots to catch me are on the Nintendo Powercast usually Thursday night. We try to be live around 8:30. Check out the YouTube channel. What is our official YouTube over there? Is it just Nintendo Powercast?
Yeah,
I think that's what it is. So search that, find that. People have been watching stuff on there, so that's good. We stream on there every week. Other spots to find me are on TikTok and Twitter. NightCrawlr724. NightCrawlers without the E.
I'm John Ebo everywhere: Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and the Nintendo Powercast. I'm actually streaming on Twitch. I was going to say Tuesday. This isn't going live until Wednesday, but I would have streamed on Tuesday.
Go find it.
It's probably going to be 4 hours long, so go watch it.
Probably will be. Do you know what it is? Do you know what it is?
Is it
are you going to play Star Wars?
It's going to be Star Wars, yeah.
There you go.
Oh, when does that?
Tomorrow.
It might be out now. It might be out now. I don't know. It's midnight.
Could be.
Huh.
I'll check after this. But yeah, I'll be streaming Tuesday, but maybe I'll be streaming other days as well. So check out twitch.tv/JohnEvo.
And you can find me on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Nintendo Powercast, CheezyC64, CheezyC64. Also, go give Josh some love, N64 Josh, everywhere. I know that he would really love to hear from all of you.